What's up everybody, Cursing Mushroom here, and welcome back to another This Week at Bungie video. So the May 3rd, 2018 is very important because it's only a few days before the DLC, the Warmind Expansion 2. So note guys that this will be the beginning of Season 3 on Tuesday, May 8th, and it's going to be amazing. I think there's going to be some really good things, and there's a lot of things in here that we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to paraphrase a little bit because there are a lot of videos plus content in this one, so I'm trying not to go too long. I don't want to just keep you here for 45 minutes, even though it's some valuable information. So let's just scroll down a little bit here, and we'll just take a look at everything together. So Vicarious Visions apparently did this section, okay? So let's read a little bit about here. So in the recent months, a series of updates for Destiny 2 has been added. Some quality of life improvements to the game on May 8th will deliver even more. Tuesday can't come soon enough. Season 3 will make all players more powerful and give them new ways to earn some glory and valor. Expansion 2 will send you, Starside, in search of new activities, new lore, new challenges, and new loot. Cheers to Vicarious Visions for their passion and dedication to the craft of creating amazing experiences for players. They've been wonderful partners with us on our journey, and with Destiny 2 PC and Warmind under our collective belts, we're excited about the future of this collaboration. Before you see their contribution of the world of Destiny, creative director Brent Gibson has a message from his team. So Brent's going to talk a little bit here. The team at Vicarious Visions have been fans of Destiny long before we started working with Bungie on this amazing franchise. While working alongside our counterparts at Bungie, we've met the challenge of expanding the Destiny universe, and we are beyond thrilled that the day is nearly here. We are honored to have added to this rich world with passionate fans numbering in the millions. This is the kind of game that developers dream about. We are fortunate enough not to only add to the gameplay experience, but to the franchise as a whole by bringing the legendary hunter Anna Bray to life. She has carried our banner through the entire journey, and we can't wait for you to meet her on this adventure. And that's going to be on May 8th when the DLC is here. So there's a narrative preview here. You can look at it. I'm going to put the link below for this actual specific This Week at Bungie, so you can just go right to it if you want to look over it yourself. I try not to be stingy, you know. And then here's the digital comic. You can also click this link and get to that digital comic from here. Right there, that little link there. Okay. So here's some developer insights. Okay, we're going to check it out. This is Exotics and Crucible. So let's check it out.
So in 1.2.0, we're refreshing a bunch of the weapon exotics. We're making them significantly deadlier and more interesting and powerful. We're adding Masterworks to all of them. The way that Masterworks will work for exotic weapons is unlike legendaries, which allow you to increase a stat and then re-roll to get the stat that you're desiring. Exotic Masterworks are hand-built to be awesome for the exotic that they've been chosen for. And so once you get a Masterworked version of exotic, that is the one true Masterworked version of that exotic weapon. And it can be anything from some crazy stat bump to some behavioral change, and they're really, really good.
I think Vigilance Wing was like a good preview into what that looks like, right? Yeah. The hot 0.8 time to kill that we're not nerfing.
Right. No,
we're embracing that. Yeah. We're gonna spread that love around.
Yep. And so yeah, we're gonna see a lot more weapons that are capable of pulling off shenanigans the way that Vigilance Wing currently is.
And me personally, I'm super excited for Tractor Cannon. We added suppression to it, which means you're gonna be able to bait supers or players into the ultimate death trap, and it's going to be hilarious. And it's already hilarious.
If you think hurling people off the map is fun, wait till you hurl them out of their super against the wall.
And you hurl them out of the map and they can't jump.
Yeah, they just plummet. Yeah, it's pretty glorious. And then Crucible has all sorts of stuff coming.
Ton of changes coming to Crucible in Season 3. The two big ticket items that I think everyone's excited for are seasonal Crucible ranks and private matches. I am super excited for private matches for a number of reasons, but my personal bias is it enables tournaments. It enables people to organize to make their own tournaments, and you get to foster this community that strictly exists to showcase skill. showcase mastery, and I love watching that. I used to watch all the D1 tournaments all the time, and I'm super excited to see those return. People have been asking for Crucible ranks specifically for a long time, and we've definitely heard the feedback, and we finally found a good place, a good home for it with Season 3. Especially with Crucible ranks, we needed a reward that was going to motivate people, that was going to push people to grind through the glory ranks, and we worked very closely together to craft a very unique gun. It's called Redrix's Claymore, and I think when players see that, when they get their hands on it, they're going to realize immediately that, holy
It's pretty good.
I need to get this gun.
We're gonna keep listening, keep talking, keep making changes, I'm sure we'll make a change and people are like, we don't love this, right?
And they'll let us know.
And they'll tell us,
They'll
and
tell
then
us.
we'll make another change, and hopefully like this one is much better.
And honestly, like, you know, give us feedback on the formats we're choosing, give us feedback on the streams, the YouTube video. If you like this, let us know. We'll do more of them, for sure. Like, let's keep the conversation rolling.
Yeah.
We'll come back on the TWAB, we'll come back on streams, just yeah, give us that feedback. Let us know what you want to see and how you want to keep talking.
Now that was an excellent video in my opinion. I'm really happy that they're starting to take us as a community into consideration. Before it's kind of just like, yeah, you know, we're going to do our own thing. And honestly, I really enjoy Destiny 2, but there's a lot of people that didn't. And you see where it got them not listening to their community's feedback. Obviously, you want to please everybody, but you just can't. I'm happy with the game wherever it goes because I love Destiny at its core. Now, obviously, there are things I'd like to keep and get rid of and this and that, but they have to listen to the greater good of the community. They don't want to just not say anything or not do anything, and that's why they're trying to get out of this hole that they've kind of dug themselves into. But it's a good future that I see ahead. So let's continue. So this is the Warmind video, and let's check it out as well.
Warmind is the start of the new conversation. It's a step forward in the direction we want to start taking Destiny.
We want content that brings us back and makes us want to play more. And so we knew that like campaign was something that we needed to have nice and tight, but it was the new activities that we added to the destination that was much more important.
And we wanted to add pursuits in the destination, you know, new gear sets and chasing after Seraph-themed weapons and gear. So we want players to feel like they're grinding with purpose, as I call it, like focused on like, I know what I'm going for, I want to get it, and I'm going to keep playing. It's like kind of similar to like what we just had with the DFA and the Nightfall. That we want that same feeling of like, I know that Seraph sniper rifle's behind there.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep grinding against this thing to get that gun.
Absolutely. There's going to be lore attached to all of these discoverables that are digging into that Warmind, Clovis Bray, Anna Bray relationship. You explore the glaciers, you're in the Clovis Bray facility.
Yeah, and the Warmind is, you know, sitting up high, but then, you know, we have activities that run you through the tunnels that the Hive have dug out, and you come out into Hellas Basin, and then you see the skybox, you see the Rasputin pyramid, and like it's such an evocative thing of like, I want to find out what is there.
Diversity inside of this destination is out of control.
Yeah, like huge scalloped walls of ice, but then like big open expanses when you're on the top of the surface. Like there's a really cool dichotomy between all the spaces.
Well, one of the things that we wanted to do was bring back the big boss fight, and so we built the destination in a way that teases and ramps up to that big fight.
Destination always had in mind like the Worm God and like this whole like it started with Rasputin, and then I think the next step after that was like, who are we fighting?
Formidable foe.
Formidable foe, yeah.
Yep.
And Vivi definitely is like all about the big bosses. And really wanted to bring a big boss in, and
no matter how crazy you thought we
and
were.
it was the marriage of these two and like making them coexist in a cohesive manner.
Another thing that came out from the playtest was the new relic we're actually putting in. You get the opportunity to actually wield a weapon of Rasputin's own design. And it's this javelin we call the Valkyrie that is a really deadly long-range weapon, but yet it's super powerful if you decide to use it in melee up front.
So we have all new campaigns to start out with. We've added new adventures, new quests, new exotics for players to find. And we have the new escalation protocol activity that we're adding. So we're encouraging players to stick around, play the destination, explore it, uncover secrets, and learn more about Rasputin and the Bray family.
Guardians. I think Vicarious Vision is doing an excellent job aiding Bungie right now. There's 3 things that I really wanted to mention after looking at this video. First off, the Valkyrie. That thing is sweet. Rasputin's weapon of his own design. That is awesome. Introducing something else, kind of like the Hive Sword, which we will see in this DLC. And I think that's really cool. Introducing something else that we can grab and use in the environment as we wish and just tear stuff up, you know. I remember back in Destiny 1, the axe. It was fantastic. Oh, that was great. That was good times. But you only got to wield it in certain points of the game, which hopefully we'll see this a little more, I hope, but you never know. Also, I wanted to talk about, so they're bringing a big, huge worm-looking boss. We don't know what it is yet, but I'm so happy that Vicarious Vision pushed Bungie that way to like, look, we need something big and mean to fight. So I'm really hoping we've got some big, nasty, mean, hard boss at the end of the DLC that we can all enjoy fighting and recording content against him. I'm going to love it, guys. And then one more thing that I also thought was really important is they said they wanted to create a path to get something. So it's like, hey, I really want this. I know where to go and get it, but I have to go get it. I'm going to have to grind this. And I like that. Having a view of what we need to do to get certain items is really good for me. Not everything, but it's good for the game because let's say you don't get it first time. It's, RNG based. So it's still there, like the DFA, like they mentioned. How many people grinded the Nightfall for the DFA and the recent duty-bound auto rifle? I mean, it's been fantastic. So I think it's a really good thing that they're bringing to the game, and I'm really appreciative of that, and I hope you guys are as well. In the comments down below, let me know how you feel about it, because I really want to know about that, because it's something really important to me that they're doing, and I think it's fantastic. So let's keep going and see what else we've got in store here. So here's the patch note preview, and I'm going to try to shorten it up, but I'm not going to be able to completely because it is very important. So first thing they say is they're increasing the vault space from 200 to 300 items, so you get an extra 100 slots, but it is a short-term solution, which is good. Multi-emote is here. You can now configure all 4 emote options, which is good. The entire emote collection is now always available to you for your convenient swapping, which is good as well, so you don't have to go to your vault and grab it and stuff like that. Items in the emote collection have been removed from the vault that's no longer needed, obviously. Guided games will now feature a Leviathan emblem that tracks the number of raid encounters and raids a player has completed as a guide. You will get this ore for 14 days, and once a week while the ore is active, guiding a raid to completion grants 1 Bright Engram. So there's another way to get Bright Engrams, which is nice. They're bringing that in. They're introducing ways to get some of this other content that is paid content by playing the game, which is nice. So technically, if you guided, another raid team once 1 week and once the second week, because you got 14 days, you could get 2 Bright Engrams in addition to whatever you get on top of that, which is really fantastic. I think they're putting a spin on Eververse, which we'll read more here in a minute. And I think they're doing great things with that. So let's continue. A new inventory category has been created that will contain pursuit tracking items, such as those for Exotic Quest. That's good. Items in the pursuit category are specific to each other and they're not shared across the account. So they will be on like your Hunter, your Titan, and your Warlock. In-game audio settings sliders between 1 and 10 were added or revised. Sound effects, dialogue, cinematic volume, music volume, and chat volume. That's some things that's great that needed to be added. Not something that's the most important, but I think it is good for them to add that. They're building up to like this massive explosion in September, fall-ish, and I think that's fantastic. Weekly lockouts for raid and raid lair rewards are now class-based. Okay. Players running multiple characters of the same class will receive rewards only for the first time they run the raid or raid lair in a given week. So make sure you're creating a Hunter, a Warlock, and a Titan because you're only going to get the reward once for each of your character types. So don't try to do it on multiple characters expecting a reward. Fixed an issue with collections where event emblems would not show up unless players own Curse of Osiris. Fixed an issue where players would encounter a black screen upon loading into the tower. Thank you. It's about time. Fixed an issue where Cade was offering only 1 treasure map for Mercury. I've seen that before. Plenty of times. And then details on design. So John's going to talk a little bit. We'll go through it here. So John says, due to a lengthy update this week, I'm going to keep my section short. This will be the last exotic tease for me after this week. You'll be playing with all of the new changes. So this is the Risk Runner. And I have something I want to say about this, but we're going to wait till we watch the video. We gave Arc Conductor increased resistance to incoming arc damage, which is 50%, and they enabled it in Crucible. Arc Conductor will now activate when the weapon is stowed, but damage resistance will only work when the weapon is in your hands. So you're still going to get Arc Conductor, which is nice if it's on you, but you're not going to get the increased damage resistance unless you're actually using it. This was already a strong gun for PvE. We're hoping these changes give it a place in some interesting Crucible loadout strategies and counters. I beg to differ in PvE. It was okay, but I do not find it to be exotic. But with this, I think it will absolutely be exotic in PvE and PvP. So let's watch it, and then we'll talk more about it. Okay, Guardians, that was the short video they created on Risk Runner. Now note, everybody was using Arc. It was their teammates, them, everybody was using Arc, so they were constantly getting that Arc Conductor. Of course, they're going to try to show it off to the maximum of their ability. Now, the problem I have with this is it's very situational. This gun can be nullified with the bonuses they gave it in one easy step. Nobody uses an Arc subclass in Crucible, and nobody uses a Arc weapon. Okay, so I see this being a bad thing and a good thing. So if you've got players that don't really care and they just use whatever, then it's going to be great. The problem is, in a lot of top tier engagements or anybody that knows better is not going to use Arc. Like they're like, no, I'm not using an Arc subclass. I'm not using Arc weapons. And they're just not going to, and then you're not going to get any of those extra benefits. So it's one of those things, you're not going to ever get that arc damage and defense percentage increase of 50% because they know better. I know better. I'm not going to run arc anymore simply because of those reasons. It's just not going to be one of those things. Now I'm always going to keep the Risk Runner on me when I'm playing Crucible, so if I notice someone is, okay, I've got the answer. It's an answer to a problem. But at the same time, you've got to think, if everybody's thinking I'm not going to ever run Arc because I don't want anybody melting us with that Risk Runner, which, to be fair, they weren't really on that great of aim, and they were still destroying them. So I couldn't even imagine if someone of really, really high skill, a really high caliber player, gets this in their hands, and a lot of people are using Arc weapons and supers. So just note that, Guardians. But it's great with PvE. I think it's going to be awesome in PvE. But PvP, it's going to be very selected because people aren't going to run Arc. In my opinion, I wouldn't. You know, it's just me. But we'll just have to wait and see. On to Sweet Business. It is the next gun, and it's getting ammo inventory of 999 capped out. Let's check it out. Wow, that shoots for days, guys. That's really good, though, because that type of weapon, if that's what you're looking for, you've got it. Equip your Titan, use your special chest piece, your exotics, and just never-ending bullets. Rain bullets upon your enemy. So that's pretty cool. I don't have anything bad to say about that, honestly. I think it's really sweet. They capped out the inventory, and that's a good thing. Now onto the Darcy. It's got some really interesting things going on for it. So let's check out the Darcy and see what it has available. The Darcy sniper rifle now grants 4 times damage once locked onto a target. Exact scaling depends on the activity, difficulty, light level, delta, and etc. It shouldn't take a master strategist to figure out how this will benefit you in PvE. Any Crucible combat snipers will also want to give this gun a try. It's got a 7-round magazine, reduced zoom for closer engagements, and an aim assist stat returned to be more generous when you haven't locked a target yet for better results while drag sniping. So let's check out the video for it. Now, honestly, it didn't show off a ton of stuff that I could just notice, but it is pretty sweet. I think all those stats are going to be nice, and this is going to be one I want to try myself because I actually use the Darcy quite a bit just because I enjoy snipers in PvE and PvP. I don't use them as much in PvP except a select few because it's very situational, but I do enjoy using them in PvE. I think it's fun just randomly trying to quick scope just random dudes and stuff. I think it's fun. But let's move on. Lastly, what they're going to be talking about is the strike changes. And this is some really cool stuff. I got some going on here. Some fireworks going off in my brain. This is cool, guys. So Dan's going to talk about it a little bit. This is what's coming to Heroic Strikes and Nightfall. Oh, this is mostly Heroic Strikes, but let's just read it. Let's just read it, okay? So, senior investment designer Daniel, can't say his name, Ockenpaw, has details on the upcoming Heroic Strike modifiers in the new legendary Nightfall Challenge card. Sweet. So Dan says, in Season 3, we've increased the baseline difficulty of Heroic Strikes to make combatants more aggressive and make the experience feel more, well, heroic. Additionally, we've given time to Heroic Strike playlist. We'll have 3 modifiers on it. 1 burn rotates weekly, 1 advantage rotates daily, and 1 disadvantage rotates daily. So it's pretty cool. So every day you play, it's going to be different for your advantage and disadvantage, but all week you can expect that burn to stay the same, which I think is very cool. So of course you've got your Arc, Solar, and Void Singe. Your outgoing and incoming damage is increased by 25%. So say the first week it's Solar, everybody's going to want to use Solar Supers and Solar Weapons. Now, what weapons you use and what grenades and this and that depend on obviously the strike and what you're feeling like with the advantage and disadvantage of that day. So let's read the advantages first. Brawler, we've seen this before. Double melee, recharge rate, and damage. That is awesome. I love to be able to melee stuff and kill it. I want to just punch it in the face. Grenader, double grenade ability, recharge rate, and damage. Awesome. And then Heavyweight, triple power ammo drop rate, double power weapon damage. Holy cow. People are going to be like running around with everything in their mama just blasting stuff, and it's going to be super fun. But now here's where it gets interesting, the disadvantages. Glass. Players' health and shields are halved, but recharge rates are doubled. So you've got 50% health theoretically, and it just recharges really fast. So you can die really quickly, but if you're smart, you'll peek in and out and get that health back really fast. Blackout. Radar is disabled, and enemies do 20 times increased melee damage. So if you see Blackout, run for dear life. Don't let anybody get near you because they're going to decimate you with their melees. Iron. Enemies no longer stagger, and health pools are increased by 50%. Dude, that's going to be nuts. 50% increased health and no longer stagger. This is going to be one of them things that you're going to definitely have to rely on the burns and the advantages. Hopefully it's Heavyweight that day. Hopefully it's like something like Void Singe so you can use your Telesto and just blow everything up. But we'll have to wait and see. And then Grounded, players take 5 times damage while airborne. That's another one we've seen before. And airborne things that go wrong, like aerial supers, like your Sunbreakers, your Dawn Blades, and even your Night Stalkers, because they're in the air for a short period of time, you're going to take 5 extra damage if you're not careful. So pay attention to that, Guardians. And then the legendary Nightfall card is something new. So what they're doing here, it says, I'll just read a little bit of it to you. Players will now be able to take their rare challenge card to Zur and upgrade it to legendary card. Doing so adds more customization options to the card. Legendary cards allow you to select 1 burn, 1 advantage or disadvantage, and 2 additional disadvantages. With the exception of glass, all other advantages and disadvantages listed above from the heroic strikes can be applied to the new challenge card. Additionally, there are a few disadvantages unique to legendary cards you can select. So here are the unique challenge disadvantages. Extinguish. Return the fire team to orbit on a wipe. We know that from D1 and recently. Famine. Ammo drops reduced by 50%. That's going to be hard as crap. Match game. Players must match their damage type to the enemy shield type. I do not like match game at all. At all. But it's one of those things if you want to make it more difficult. Attrition. Health regen is slowed greatly, and enemies drop health orbs. I don't mind that one too much. And then momentum. Health regenerates only when the player is moving. Momentum is one of those things that's a love-hate relationship for me. Sometimes it works great, and I'm constantly on the move. But depending on the strike, it can be very challenging because if you have to run to heal, and there's spots where you get pinned down really aggressively on these strikes, maybe you're not going to want to use that disadvantage. So be mindful of that, Guardians. And then Nightfall par scores update. So it's going up to 30k, 60k, 110, and 200,000 because of the cheese. They're not removing it. They just want to see how high we can go. That's cool. Whatever. I'm just going to play it and enjoy it regardless. I don't care what they're doing. If they're having fun, let them have fun. And this is what's really interesting of the whole thing. Prismatic Matrix. I think this is very interesting, Guardians. So listen carefully. In the January development update, we spoke of shifting the balance of vanity content in favor of activity rewards rather than purely through Eververse. We first addressed this balance by adding vanity rewards to Crucible, Nightfall Strike, and raid activities. To further improve the overall Eververse experience, a new feature we're calling the Prismatic Matrix will debut in Season 3. This feature has been developed with 3 key goals in mind. Give players more control over how they earn Eververse items, offer a more predictable path each week that guarantee access to specific items, and drop fewer duplicate items. At release, the Prismatic Matrix will feature 10 Eververse items from Season 3 each week while it is active. Each item within the Prismatic Matrix is on a knockout list, which means every player is guaranteed to receive all featured items for a given week by the 10th activation. Earning items via Bright Engrams, Bright Dust, or previous Matrix activations will also knock rewards off the list. In turn, each activation guarantees players an item that they have never previously acquired. So this is really cool. So what's going to happen is you're going to get 10 items each week, and you have an option, and they don't completely go into every detail, but you're going to have 10 items that got a knockoff list. And as you unlock an Engram, based on RNG, these 10 items, you're going to get one of them. So it's really cool because you know that you're not going to get a duplicate, more than likely. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen because anything can happen. So you have a path to execution. So let's just look at this photo for a second, and I want to explain something. So if you look in the top left, you see a new ship here. Well, let's say for some reason, somehow, in the whole week, you've somehow got 9 Engrams, and you've got that one exotic ship left. And you're like, dang, I wanted that the most, and the reset's like in 30 minutes. Well, I'm sure they're going to have a way where you can spend a little extra real live cash from your own bank account and buy a little dust, or use some of your dust that you've already obtained and buy another Engram, Bright Engram, and that's going to make it where you can get that one ship that you want really bad. So you're not just buying a Bright Engram for $5 or whatever, and then just getting something that's completely irrelevant. At least there is a path to execution, which we talked about before. I really enjoy that. So I think this is a really good thing in the right direction for Destiny. And that's all I'm going to really talk about that. I don't want to cover that too much. I think they're doing pretty good. And then, of course, here's your times for Destiny server maintenance. Okay. I'm going to let you guys, I'm just going to you can pause it if you want and look through it, your file sizes, your times, so everybody knows when all this stuff is available. And then here's some known issues, which I really am glad that they're doing this because they know these issues are there and they may not be able to fix them before 1.2.0 is here, which is in a short amount of time. So at least they're letting us know that this could possibly happen. So if you want to, you can pause it here and read over these as well. And that's going to be it for this week's. I cannot wait till the DLC, Guardians. So with that being said, I hope this gave you a little insight. If you haven't seen it or seen it, all of these videos, don't forget you can always click here to get to the digital comic. Guys, I hope you have a great afternoon, morning, day, or night, wherever you may be. As usual, Cursing Mushroom out.